Johnny Depp's sound engineer, Keenan Wyatt, has testified during the actor's defamation trial against his ex-wife, Amber Heard, that she became, quote, abruptly loud when he told her that Mr. Depp cared for her. According to Mr. Wyatt, Miss Heard yelled, quote, "How dare you talk to me," end quote, after he tried to speak to her during a private flight. So let's get into it.
What, if anything, did you observe about Miss Heard's behavior on that Boston flight?
Well, she was giving Johnny the cold shoulder, being quiet, and seemed pouty.
What, if any, conversation did you have with Miss Heard on the flight?
At one point, I went up to her and said something to the effect of, he cares about you. And all of a sudden, she snapped and started yelling at me, "How dare you talk to me? Get away from me." So I went back to a seat and minded my own business.
When she said those things to you, would you describe the tone of her voice, if you remember it?
She was abruptly loud. It was a quiet plane. All of a sudden, it got very loud.
What, if anything, did you observe about Miss Heard's behavior on that Boston flight?
Yeah, so in the Washington Post op-ed, she kind of made herself out to be like this victim, domestic abuse survivor. But as we're learning through this court case, there's plenty of people to say that, her doctor yesterday, the nurse, said she had no injuries, never reported anything in the 6 years that they were there. She got regular checkups, never saw any bruises. That's what the doctor said. The nurse said the same thing. And what's also very telling about that is there's a clip that recently surfaced on Twitter that I found very interesting, that you can hear the doctor and the nurse talking amongst themselves and pretty much confirming that Amber was the one who sliced off Johnny's finger, whereas Amber likes to say Johnny did it to himself. So let's listen to this clip that has been resurfaced. It's a little hard to hear, so there is some closed captioning, but this is Johnny Depp, by the way, entering the court this morning. He's going to take the stand.
Actually, it could be in here too. So you know,
So yeah, at the very end of that clip, it says, "Just so you know, she shattered the bone." So the doctor pretty much confirms that it was Amber that did this, who shattered his bone. And, that's all coming out because of this case. There's a bunch of injury photos that were administered to evidence yesterday where you see all the bruises on Johnny's face. And, it's coming out that Amber isn't necessarily the victim she has painted herself out to be. And in some regards, in a lot of professional people's opinions, including people that saw directly, she was actually the one instigating it. And we see that with the, and also hitting him, judging by the evidence. So very, very eye-opening, to say the least. And this is a report also today that surfaced, and it's by a news reporter who actually said the same thing. Their mind has been completely changed on Amber Heard from being closer and researching this case, and so has my mind completely changed as well. And I thought this report was very interesting as well.
2015 when it was released. mean, extremely revealing. I don't know, and I don't believe this recording has been introduced into evidence as of yet, and that may be one of the goals of the attorneys for Johnny Depp, is to put in that recording, because I think it's somewhat of a game changer, to be honest, because you hear Amber Heard, you hear her really in there, not aggressive per se, but not one that's backing down, not one that's timid, not one that sounds abused. But on the other hand, you hear Johnny Depp sounding very, less ready to fight, less ready to be part of altercations. Amber Heard, on the other hand, now sounds like she wants to fight it out. She doesn't want him to walk away, and that it angers her when he does so. So I believe this recording would be very helpful to Johnny Depp's team, and it should be played for the jury. And for me, listening to that recording really gives me the impression that maybe Amber Heard is the one that initiates fights and starts these fights. So if they maintain that momentum, it would be very helpful to Johnny Depp's case, and he could possibly see a win here. It really changed my thoughts and point of view on Amber Heard after hearing that recording.
Wow, that's pretty major. I know you've been following this case.
Yeah, so 13516 asked if I will be doing a live stream of the case. I just, I can't sit through it. I found the case to be the trial to be very hard to watch, to say the least. The amica cream, where the lawyer kept saying amica cream over and over again. And then yesterday, there was the nurse who just kept saying, I don't recall every 5 minutes. I don't think I'm streaming this. It's going to be 6 weeks long, and Johnny Depp will be taking a stand. So there's a possibility I will start streaming when Johnny Depp takes a stand, just because it's like, that's most interesting to me. So today, just a recap, on a May 2014 private jet from Boston to Los Angeles, Mr. Wyatt, the sound engineer that we just watched at the beginning of this video, said Miss Heard appeared to be giving Mr. Depp, quote, the cold shoulder, end quote, and that she was being quiet and seemed pouty. At one point, Mr. Wyatt said he went up to her and said something to the effect of, he cares about you. And all of a sudden, she just snapped and started yelling at him. Quote, how dare you talk to me? Get away from me, end quote. So he went back to his seat and minded his own business. Quote, she was abruptly loud. It was a quiet plane. All of a sudden, it got very loud, he added. On several occasions, Mr. Wyatt said he has never seen Johnny abuse anybody ever. And that's been pretty much by every defense person, including his ex. There's a ton of celebrities that stand by Johnny Depp. And, no one has ever witnessed abuse, ever seen bruises on Amber. And even the May 21st blowout fight they had, there's a lot of really weird indiscrepancies with Amber Heard's account versus the cops' account. I mean, there was cops that showed up to her penthouse and witnessed no signs of vandalism or domestic abuse, but then she has all these pictures taken of broken wine cups and wine all over the floor. And a lot of people, and myself, believe that that was a staged hoax to get $7 million out of Johnny Depp, because the evidence just doesn't really add up right now. And from my own research, Mr. Wyatt said Mr. Depp, quote, says something to her like, don't talk to my friend that way. And I just stayed in my seat and finished the rest of the flight, end quote. So in case you're, I just want to point out something. This may be a little bit scary to some people, but there's poop pictures. There's POOP pictures. So if this bothers you, please look away. There we go. It's edited out very heavily, but Johnny Depp will be taking a stand today. And this is a report from TMZ. So Johnny Depp will take the stand on Tuesday in his super bitter defamation lawsuit against ex-wife Amber Heard, and he's expected to talk about an incident he says ended the marriage when he says she or a friend defecated on his side of the bed. So this is what we're gearing up for. So Johnny is suing Amber for $50 million. claiming she lied when she accused him of physically abusing her. She's countersuing him for $100 million for defamation, claiming he coordinated a smear campaign against her. A key date in the trial is April 22nd, 2016. Amber was having a birthday party for herself at their downtown LA penthouse. Depp showed up late and decided he would bail, which he says enraged Heard. Amber has said Johnny threw a Magnum wine bottle at her before leaving. We're told the housekeeper called Depp the next morning and told him someone had crapped on his side of the bed and then put the covers over it. He thinks Amber wanted him to unsuspectingly hop in bed and hit the poop. Depp believes either Amber or one of his friends is the culprit. Amber has said one of their Yorkshire Terriers was the pooper, but Depp has scoffed at that, saying the poop was too large for a 3 to 4 pound dog to excrete. Johnny has said the pooping incident was the final straw in their marriage. So as you know, Johnny sued a British publication for defamation in England and lost the case. They called him a wife beater, and the judge concluded the allegation was, quote, substantially true. The current trial is in Virginia, so it remains to be seen if he has better luck getting a second bite of the apple.